If you're new to the retro camcorder world and you've been wondering how to capture your footage and you're not exactly sure how, well, this little device will help you out quite a bit on that. This is the ClonerAlliance Box Pro Pocket. Now, ClonerAlliance reached out to me to do a review on this, and I've done a review in the past on one of their products, and I was excited to check this out. Now, if you don't know what this is a video capture box that you can really hook up to anything that has pretty much a RCA connection. You can hook it to VCRs, you can hook it to DVRs, you can hook it to old camcorders, ones that take tapes. Specifically, you can hook it up to like old game systems. If you are a gamer out there and maybe you want to start a YouTube channel on older games, do like playthroughs or whatever, you can hook it up to your Nintendo 64, you can hook it up to your Sega Genesis, whatever. As long as it has an RCA connection or a component connection, you can also record audio with it and a whole bunch of other stuff. And we'll get into all that here later. We will be going over the specs, the build of it, like what's in the menu. We'll look at some of the footage that I have captured with it and go over pros and cons and let you know everything that I think about this recorder. Let's get into it. We'll go ahead and unbox this little guy here and see what it all comes with. Okay, so let's take this out of the packaging sleeve. Pulling off the lid, you do get greeted with the user manual, along with some information on how to contact them if you're having problems with your recorder and needing some help with it. And so here is the recorder, but we'll go ahead and put that aside and check out what it all comes with first. And here you can see it comes with quite a bit of stuff. So it turns out this remote is actually much more useful than it just being a remote. Later on I will describe you can't use this device in 4x3, which turns out that you can. You just have to use the remote. And this is the battery along with the USB-C charger for it. So this is a Sony NPF battery style, and you can actually recharge it by using USB-C, and it has light indicators letting you know how much battery is left on it. Now this is going to be your main cable that you'll be using. So the HDMI will go into the MMI port, and you do get your RCA, your component and VGA cable plug-in on that, along with a power supply for your Box Pro Pocket. Now this here is a USB cable, so you can actually connect your Box Pro Pocket to your computer or laptop and be able to do updates on it and be able to get more features using it that way. Now they do give you a HDMI cable, which I find very nice, and you do get a HDMI little L converter or a 90-degree converter, just to make things a little easier for yourself. And that is pretty much everything that it comes with. Okay, so now let's check out the recorder itself. Comes in this kind of translucent white packaging here. So there is a QR code on the back of this with an SN number. You put this into their website and you can download their softwares for free. So I was just trying to cover that up so people can't steal it from me. So here is the front of it, and you do get the little plastic cover over the screen that we will take off. And I do gotta say, it is a very nice looking recorder. Obviously this thing comes with quite a bit of stuff, which is honestly really nice. I don't know how many of you guys have actually bought products and it comes with stuff that doesn't come with all of the appropriate things that you need. Like, let's say you buy a new phone, you buy a new iPhone, and it comes with just the charging cable and a couple stickers. Like when back in the day, you used to be able to get like the charging block that plugs into the wall and like a pair of headphones. Now you don't get any of that. So nice that ClonerAlliance allows you to use everything that you need, and you don't have to go somewhere and buy it. Like it comes with all the like HDMI stuff, pretty much all like the cable connections you need to connect this thing to whatever you need. And the other really cool thing is when you buy this, it'll be on the back here. You'll pretty much have a QR code. You can go to their website and you can put in the serial number and it'll give you free downloads on your computer to get like different softwares and stuff that they have that is compatible with this. You can like edit and capture and do a bunch of other stuff with this. So if you do buy this, make sure you do that because it'll enhance your experience so much more. So you get this, everything that came in the box, and then pretty much free softwares to be able to, you know, edit and all that kind of stuff. They're a really great company, to be honest. Real quick, we will go over the physical features, and I'm going to take the battery out for this. There's a lot of great stuff that comes on this. I'll start at the front. You do get a 3-inch LCD screen to monitor your videos or watch the playback. You got different lights here that tell you if it is connected to a USB, a TF, or a HDMI out. TF is really just micro SD card, and then out is your HDMI out. They will blink when you're recording. It does blink if the TF card, SD card is connected, and it'll sit and blink blue. It'll do the same thing with the USB and the HDMI out. And then you get a big D-pad there with the select in the center to navigate through the menu and all that kind of stuff. You got your record button and your playback to watch playback. So the button here with the, it's like a white box with an arrow. That is to change your input setting. You can choose between AV, what is it? YPRBR, your composite. It's the green, blue, and red cables. And then you can choose between the different HDMI in and out ports. You have your power button there. Now, if you just push it, you can select it to just go into like sleep mode, where like the screen will just turn off. It'll still be on. If you want to turn it off, you have to hold it down for 8 seconds, which to me, I think is a little bit too long because you're holding it forever and it's like, is it going to turn off? I think like 5 seconds would have been a little bit better. You do have a screenshot. You can take a picture. You have a trash. You can delete things, and your home and back button. All of your buttons to navigate and control things and all that kind of stuff. Along the bottom is your speakers and your infrared receiver for the remote that you get. On the right side, you do get your micro SD card input or your USB input, depending on however you want to save your files. You can use an SD card or a thumb drive. Along the top side, well, it is the MMI in, multimedia in, I want to say. This is actually the port that you would plug this cable into that has all of your video connections. You plug it in through HDMI here, and then whatever you're using, if you want to connect it to your monitor through VGA, you can use this, or your composite or RCA plugins. For this video, later on, when I show you how to connect it and everything, I will use the RCA cables, the yellow, white, and red cables. And then you'll have to connect it, you'll have to switch your input to that as well, and I'll show you that, which one that is. And then you also have an HDMI in, and then you have different sources here for audio. You can use a 3.5 millimeter microphone input or like an aux input if you want to, and plug it into the in source. If you have some kind of like an audio recorder, you can hook it to this and record the audio, or hook it to like your laptop or something and record the audio that way. You also have a mic input and an audio output. Audio in, mic input, and audio output. Now, that is a 3.5 millimeter jack that you have to use for that. And then you'll have an HDMI out source. So if you want to, whatever kind of footage that you've captured or whatever, and you want to, let's say, watch it on your TV, you can hook it to your TV and watch it, or to your laptop and be able to watch it. However you want to use your HDMI out source. And then there is a micro USB input there, and that is to go to your PC. You can do like updates on this, like software updates. You can connect it and download the softwares to your computer and be able to connect this to those softwares and be able to pretty much get more dialed in settings when you go to record, or if you want to edit your videos. I think they even have like an AI enhancing software, so it can like upscale your footage even more than it already is. And then you have your 12-volt power supply there. So if you want to plug this into a power supply and make sure that it's always going to have power instead of relying on your battery that comes with it here, then you can do that as well. And I do believe it should charge the battery as well. And then on the back side, obviously, is your battery compartment, and just on the bottom is the battery release, so you can pull it out and charge it and all that. And then you just got some nice little rubber feet here, and it kind of forms a gap between whatever surface you have it on, and kind of lets air flow through, and then it also has kind of air vents on the back as well. So you have airflow and stuff so it doesn't overheat and all that. Not that this thing gets super hot, but I like that they created it like that. And one of my favorite things, it's a very simple thing, but one of the cool things that I like about it, and it doesn't really work very well when you have like cables and stuff connected to it, but if you have footage that you've already captured and you just want to watch it, when you have your battery plugged in, you can actually kind of set it up like this, and it's kind of like a little stand on the back, so it's not just laying flat like this. You can prop it up and then, sit and eat your bowl of cereal for breakfast and watch your footage back or something. I don't know. So yeah, it's kind of cool. But those are pretty much all the physical features that are on it. Let's go into the menu and I'll show you around all the different stuff that it can do, because it can do a lot more than I thought it could. Okay, so to go into the menu, you can hit the home button here and it brings it right up here. And you have 4 different columns up here that you can choose. It's different sections of settings, if you will. So to check these ones out, you can go up and down with this. And then if you want to go back up to the bar up here, you can just push this back arrow here and it'll bring you back up there, and you can cycle back and forth left and right. And then you can go up and down to go to other things in that part of the menu. So you can show the time. So pretty much you can have a timestamp on your video. You can choose your different recording resolution. So I have it set to 1920 by 1080. Now, what's really cool about this is you can actually choose to record in NTSC or PAL. So if I go this way, maybe, you can see that it changes the recording resolution to a PAL format. So you can go pretty much in NTSC, you can choose between 1080p or 720p, and then your different PAL formats. So I've just been keeping it at 1920 by 1080. You can choose different bit rates. So you got high, low, medium, and high again. So 3 different settings there. You have file sizes. So pretty much what this does is it will continuously record until it gets to 16 gigabytes of storage, and then it'll stop recording. Or you can choose 4 gigabytes, which for me, I don't even record that much footage. But if you are doing some form of gaming, live streaming, or stuff like that, you can probably run out of storage really fast. So they do have 16 or 4 gigabyte. You can choose to do a loop recording. I'm not exactly sure what that does. You can have a time watermark, so you can have your timestamp on there. So the time, to show the time, it'll just show it on screen instead of actually have it on the watermark. You can have auto stop, so you can choose 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 120 minutes, 150 minutes, 180, and off. So pretty much that, it'll record for that amount of time and then stop recording. So if you need to have a reminder, or if you wanted to just start recording and then you can walk away and have it stop recording at a certain time, you can do that. And then the system time, I think you can go in and change that. I don't really need to. So that is the system settings. We can go over to image settings. Now this is the cool part in my opinion. So you can actually change the way that it captures the footage. You can actually change how it captures the footage. So you can look at the brightness and change the brightness up and down. You can change the contrast. You can change the saturation, and I have that all the way at 100 because, well, I like very colorful videos. You can change the sharpness. To me, I don't really see that doing much just because it's, well, the footage that I capture is not, 1080p footage, it's 480p. So it doesn't make it look that much different. And then you can choose the backlight. So really it changes the brightness of the screen, obviously. So I just leave it at 10 because it's not that bright of a screen in my opinion. And then you can restore, decoder update, and encoder update. So to see if there's an update, I think you have to have this connected to your laptop and go to the ClonerAlliance website. And that's it for the image settings. We can go back and check out the audio settings. Now this is some like audio inputs and outputs, so your HDMI volume. If it's in or out, you can change how much volume there is in the video, your mic volume, your line in volume, your speaker volume, which this thing actually has some insanely loud speakers. In my opinion, it only needs to go up to about 35 in my opinion, unless maybe the audio in your video is really quiet. You can go louder than that to be able to hear it, but yeah, about 35 is about where I max out at. I set it to 50 and I started capturing footage and it was just insanely loud. So bravo for having such loud speakers. Your line out volume and your line out mixed, you can have that on or off. And then your languages, I actually don't know all the languages. Let's see. So we got, I think, Chinese, Japanese, Italian, and English. So I think 2 different kinds of Chinese, Japanese, Italian, and English. I'm surprised I don't have Spanish on here, to be honest. So that is it for the audio settings. Let's go over to the schedule. So you can actually schedule your videos. So whenever you go to schedule it, you can schedule it once every day, and then you can choose your different times on there. So pretty much once it hits a certain time, it'll start to record. So if you need some form of a scheduled recording, you can set it like that. And then you can have it set for every day or just once. And that is pretty much it in the menu. So here it will actually show you your footage. It's not connected to anything, obviously. But if you push your input select here, it'll actually show up here down at the bottom. So you have HDMI selected there. You got VGA, YPRBR, or PR, I can't, it's really, really small. So if you can't read small print, you might struggle a little bit. And then you have AV and HDMI again. So yeah, if you have everything plugged into here and you're not getting a signal, make sure you just cycle through these until you get an image that pops up. It will be the HDMI. So to capture your camcorder footage, you'll have the HDMI cable plugged in here with your AV cable plugged into your camcorder, and then you'll have the system set to HDMI. Okay, so I have a couple cameras here. I have a Canon GL1 and a Sony PD170. So, reason why I got 2 cameras is because they have 2 different kinds of AV plugins, and a lot of people don't understand this, so I figured I would explain it really quick here. Now, before I do that, make sure, if you do buy one of these, make sure you have one of these 2 cables. So you'll have to have your own version of a RCA cable because this is a female RCA, so obviously there's the holes and then these are the male, so they go together here, and then the other side is the same. So some camcorders will have this kind of RCA plug-in, and some camcorders, they will just be a 3.5 millimeter plug-in. So you will need one side as a 3.5 millimeter, and the other side will be your RCA. So it'll look like this. So if you see a port on a camcorder that is yellow, that is your AV plugin. They'll generally say AV on it. A lot of people think that you just plug this yellow one into it and you'll get video out of it. No, you have to have one side like this and then the other side will be like this, or a 2-sided one for some devices out there. So I will show you how to connect these, and then you can kind of use it towards your other cameras. So I will show you how to plug it in here. So like I was saying, your camera that has the 3.5 millimeter AV jack, it will be yellow, and so you will need a cable that is like this. And I'm not going to recommend this one in the description because this one is actually faulty. Whoever made it color coded these wrong, so yellow is always your video and then red and white is always your left and right audio. But for whatever reason, this cable, the red one, is my video and these two are my audio. So I'm not going to leave a link in the description for these, but I will leave a link in the description for another one that is very, very cheap and will work. So you'll take the 3.5 millimeter side or the single side. And I call these, if you want to Google them, I just call them a 3-to-1 AV cable because it's 3-sided to a 1-sided one. So just take your single-sided one and plug it into the AV port on your camcorder, okay? And then what you will do is you will take your HDMI port and you will plug it into the MMI in. So it would be the, if you're looking at it this direction, it'd be the far left side. So you'll plug it in, and then what you will do is just match the colors up. So your yellow, white, and red will plug into the yellow, white, and red here. Except for in my case, because the idiots who made this made the red one the video cable, so I had to put this one in my yellow, and then these other two go here. So just color match for yourself. That's all you really got to do. And now you have a full connection to your camcorder. So your AV, single-sided AV is plugged into your camcorder, and then the 3-sided one is plugged into the 3-sided female side of your MMI in port, and then the HDMI section of it goes into here. So once you go to turn your camera on, and this is probably going to make a really gross noise. So since there isn't a image that's popping up, I have to make sure that I cycle through, and you want to choose RCA, I believe, or AV. You want to choose AV on your device, and there you go. Now you have an image, and you can see what this room looks like. So anywhere I point the camera, you see where it's going. So it's like a little monitor. Now, the only issue I'm doing this is, this problem is kind of just with Canon camcorders from the past, is some camcorders do it and some camcorders don't. Your icons of the display will show up on here, even if you're recording the playback footage. So I'm not sure which ones do and which ones don't. So sometimes it'll have stuff on the screen and sometimes it won't. But if you have a tape in your camera, it will show up like this. So pretty much what you'll do is you will hit rewind on your camcorder, rewind to the point where you want to start recording. So I just got done filming a wedding, so I will fast forward. Yes, I'm filming a retro wedding. So you can see on here that it is playing. So whenever you want to start recording, you will hit record on your device instead of your camera, and it will start recording what's playing on the camera. Now, you just got to make sure that you have a SD card or a USB drive hooked up to this, and it will start recording. So it's super easy like that. As for your cameras that have a full RCA plugins on the side, a lot of Sonys do, you'll just use your 3-sided to 3-sided cables here. So simple enough, you just plug color-coded into your camera here, and this cable is built correctly. So you would just put the yellow in the yellow, red in the red, and the white in the white. And then obviously you just do the same thing on the other side, and you will turn your camera on, and there you have it. You can see what the camera is seeing. So I have it in record mode, or the camera is just on. See, you can see how ugly I am. And then if you flip it back to the playback mode, if you have a tape in it, you can start recording your footage, or you can record with it being in the camera mode. So instead of hitting record on your camera, you can hit record on this and record just straight to a USB drive or SD card. Now, I call that a tapeless setup, but this is a bit of a bulky setup to actually run like a tapeless setup, to actually somehow mount it on your camera and use it that way. So I only recommend using this to just specifically capture footage straight from your tapes on your camera, or if you want to live stream with one of these. So anyway, that's how you hook it up. Super easy, super simple, super fast, and it only takes 2 cables. and it's very versatile with a lot of different things, I guess. So I haven't really gone over any of the specifications or anything like that with this, so I figured I'd do that right now. So you can record up to 1080p, 60 FPS, or 720p NTSC, and you can also record in PAL format. So this will work in Europe or United States or Japan, whatever country you're in, whether your country uses NTSC or PAL, you can use this to capture your footage, which is very, very nice. You can capture from HDMI, AV or RCA, YPBPR, which is the green, blue, and red cables, VGA, so you can hook it up to like your computer monitor, and HDMI sources, which I already said. So it has ultra low latency, so it works well with live streaming and all that. You can connect it to your PC for enhanced video recording, editing, and unlocking more features and controls. So that's downloading the softwares and stuff to be able to do a lot more with this device. So I think that's really cool. That is something that I probably should check out, but my computer doesn't really have a lot of space on it, so I have to try and like keep it at a minimum. And yeah, so the max encoding bitrate is 18 megabits per second. The path through latency is less than 90 milliseconds. The encoding formats is MP4 or H.264, so perfect for YouTube. Maximum storage is 512 gigabytes for the USB flash drive and the SD card, and 8 terabytes for internal hard drive. I don't think there's an internal hard drive that's on this. I assume if you plug in a hard drive to it, it's compatible up to a 8 terabyte hard drive. So the max HDMI input resolution is 3840 by 2160 at 30 FPS. The analog video input formats that it's compatible with is NTSC, PAL, and PAL 60. The recording aspect ratio is 16 by 9 and 4 by 3. So those are some of the specs, some of the features that's in it that maybe I might have skipped over from earlier. Lots of good information.
Where's your brother? Where's your brother? Go here, Jack. Jackson, River, where's Jackson? Where's he?
That's pretty much all I have to say about the ClonerAlliance Box Pro Pocket. Not much of a pocket device. I mean, I guess you could put it in your pocket, but yeah, I want to thank ClonerAlliance for sending this out to me. I really appreciate you guys working with me again, and hopefully we'll get to again in the future. If you want to check out this product, I'll leave a link to their website, and you can look at all their other capturing devices that they make as well. And if you want to order it off of Amazon. I will leave a affiliate link to this on Amazon as well. Helps me out a little bit when you guys order products through Amazon through my Amazon affiliate links. Before we go, let me know what you guys think of the ClonerAlliance Box Pro Pocket. Would you buy it? Have you ever used a capture device by ClonerAlliance? And would you buy this? Would you recommend this for people who are just starting out? Let me know. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. And if you enjoy my content, make sure you subscribe, because we talk about old school retro camcorders and ways to capture your footage almost on a daily basis. And on that note, we'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.